I was 44 years old when my wife and I decided that our marriage of some years had pretty well run its course. We stayed in the same house until we got it sold and lived in a kind of icy truce, and whatever we may have been experiencing, our children were experiencing to the nth degree, except in silence. I thought I was handling all of this reasonably well until the day we were actually moving, and I reached up to pick up a bright yellow straw hat from the hall closet that we had bought a few years earlier for my daughter when we were on a vacation in Maui, and I just came completely unglued. My son, who was 18 at the time, just put his hand on my shoulder and said, "It'll be okay, Dad." So I moved into a one-bedroom apartment with a great view of the city and the mountains and the water and began my new life. It didn't take long for me to understand and appreciate that what I was experiencing was grief. The end of a marriage, the end of a family is a death. It is a death. And you may have all those other feelings like guilt, misgivings, anger, and so on, the whole emotional Ferris wheel that comes with these kinds of things. But grief is the primary one. And, we're at the end of something into which we had poured rightly or wrongly, wholeheartedly or barely at all we had. So I can only speak for myself. I know that I had reached a point of stasis, and I found myself looking at my wife and kids and the mortgage and the dog and the fence and saying, "Is this it? Is this the whole story?" Or as Peggy Lee would say, "Is that all there is?" So along with the pain of ending came a sense of relief and a really palpable excitement about new beginnings. For a long time in the last years of my marriage, I thought I'd never learn a new thing. But here, suddenly, I went to the bank, borrowed a few $1,000s, started a new business. It was supposed to be a video production house, and quickly became an ad agency. And I was having a ball and making some good money. I bought an early computer, taught myself how to use it, used it for everything under the sun, was relearning both French and Hebrew, taking my casual tennis game into sort of semi-competitive levels. Life Part 3, Pickle. It really is true. When one thing ends, a new thing begins. So be afraid, do it anyway, bravely take the next steps.